Hey guys, it's Marshall from Going Gear, still here at SHOT Show 2013. It's the end of the show. I'm tired, so I apologize if I lose my train of thought like I just did. So we're talking to some of the knife designers here at the show, here at CRKT. So we have one of the CRKT designers, Alan Folts, designer of the Minimalist series. Some of my favorite CRKT knives, some of our best sellers, great little knives. So we're going to be talking to him today. How you doing today, man?
Good, how are you doing?
Excellent, excellent. So let's talk about your knives.
Okay, thank you, sir. I actually designed the Minimalist about between 5 and 6 years ago. What I was looking for is a small, everyday carry style knife that could actually index into the fingers instead of the palm of the hand. So with a knife like this, it's actually indexed between the index finger and the thumb. Your other fingers sit into the finger grooves, and you get a lot of tactile feel. You get a lot of control over the tip. You get an extreme amount of force that you can put on this knife because it's held in the fingers instead of the palm. So Columbia River approached me and said, you know, how about we take this into production? So the first one we did was the Folts Minimalist, the Wharncliffe version. So this came out first, and it was kind of an experiment to see how my designs would come over at the public level. So, and they had pretty good success with it. So we went ahead and went from the Wharncliffe version like this to the Bowie version, and the Tanto came out next. Okay, the Bowie version is taken off, so everybody seems to really like the Bowie version and the Wharncliffe. The Tanto, which happens to be my favorite, for some reason is left behind a little, but still really good. Overall, everyday carry kind of knives at a good price point that everybody can afford. So they all hold in a Kydex sheath, or in Columbia River's case, an injection molded sheath. The Wharncliffe just comes in with the neck carry. The Bowie and the Tanto actually come with a belt clip, a multi-position clip. So it can be worn on the belt, horizontal, right-handed, left-handed, on a pack strap or a personal flotation device and something like that. So I wanted to make this knife as easy to carry as I possibly could. Thus the size and the weight and everything else, along with the sheath system to be able to be versatile and to be held in multiple positions. So people will buy this knife and use it. That's really the intent.
Right. And at a great price point. I know you kind of touched on that, but I think that contributes a lot to the success. I mean, it's a nice design. It's a great little neck knife, or wherever else you want to put it, at a really reasonable price point. So it's nice to see stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. We get comments from the customers that are like, you know, I have one in my truck, I have one that I leave attached to my personal flotation device or in my tackle box or anything like that, because they really get used to how it holds and how it works for them. And at that price point, they can afford to, you know, double up. If they lose it, it's not that big of a deal. It's not a knife that they're, you know, putting out a week's worth of pay to really, you know, to really put into their lineup. So
was this the clip point? Was this your original one?
No, that was not. I actually had a Minimalist in stainless steel that was the Wharncliffe version. I really liked the Wharncliffe version.
That was the very first one.
But like most knife makers, your creativity starts to stifle when you do the same thing over and over again. So I started putting out a line of the custom ones with the relief engraving and the carving, and I do some in Damascus, and it really just kind of keeps it fresh for me so that my creativity's there and I can push forward into the next kind of thing I want to work on. So
how'd you get the blue anodizing? I'm assuming that is
yeah, on that blade, that's a relief engraved titanium, and then that's been anodized, and it has a tungsten carbide coating on it to hold the cutting edge.
The blade's titanium.
Yeah, that one weighs about 0.8 ounces for the complete
knife. Very
light. So the sheath actually weighs twice as much as the knife does on that.
Wow. And it still has a pretty nice edge on it.
Yeah, and that's been cut in cardboard most of the week.
Wow. That's impressive.
So, and actually, the Minimalist line took off so well, especially the Wharncliffe right at first. I had a lot of customers that really adore just a straight Wharncliffe blade for utility work and stuff like that. I had actually one of my customers contact me and say, I want a Minimalist, but I want to rig it for pocket carry. He said, can you make me one with a little longer blade and without the back two finger grooves so that it pulls easier from the pocket? And I'm like, well, you know, the finger grooves is really what makes the Minimalist.
Right. But
what we did at that point is I redesigned it for the carry options that he wanted. And what I came up with was the SPEW. The name, you know, the name is out there, but SPEW stands for Small Pocket Everyday Wharncliffe. Okay, so it's got the same shape of blade as the Wharncliffe Minimalist, but it's been lengthened, and the back two finger grooves have been removed. Okay, so when you remove those back two finger grooves, it doesn't index into the fingers quite as easily as before. But what I wanted a tactile feel to the handle, so I went with a Ridge G10. I went with, you know, I carved it all out so that it would get a really good grip. And it comes in a small, slim sheath. It's the same thickness as the Minimalist, so it's still easy to carry in pocket. It's easy, you know, it's unobtrusive when you are carrying it. So really, that's how we kind of take it from a custom to a production collaboration, and then my customers just what they like and what they do goes into the new versions. It adapts and it evolves as it goes along. So I think it's kind of neat to see how the whole industry as a whole develops the knife for the demand and for what people are really looking for in the next knife.
Sure, yeah, that's a great philosophy to have. I've been asking this to everybody. So when you first start designing a knife, the very beginning, are you going for something that's just looks cool, or do you want something that's for a specific purpose?
For me, I had a lot of art background, so I look for something that's aesthetically pleasing. Now, that's not what happened on the minimalist line. What happened on the minimalist line is I was looking for something that would carry a specific way. So to me, the minimalist wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing knife, but it fit ergodynamically into your hand to the point where you can really get the tool use out of this. And for most people, I carried the minimalist prototype for about 2 years, and I would hand it to people at shows, and I would really ask them what they thought about it. And most of them would not pick it up off the table. It was kind of funny looking. But once you put it in your hand and you felt how it felt,
you realize how comfortable it is.
You realize how comfortable it is and how usable it is, and the package is so small that really the aesthetics were secondary at that point. It was so useful at that size range that the aesthetics just came after that.
Right.
And as I said, I adapted the other blade shapes, and I have several that Columbia River doesn't carry, but that I do myself. And it really just kind of put some, to put different people's cutting styles and different people's likes and dislikes into the same model with that same grip, because that grip is really what makes that knife.
Are we ever going to see any other blade shapes? Any in the pipeline?
Yeah, well, we got some things working out. It'll kind of have to be a surprise there, but
Blade Show, SHOT Show 2014.
My custom customers already know this, but as far as productions go, let's just say keep your eyes open. You're going to see some new stuff.
Will do. Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks for talking to us, Alan.
Thanks, sir.